Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. As you can see, I'm not in my neighborhood. I'm at my sister's house in Fairborn, and I'm just going to go out here and walk around the block once, I think. We'll see how it goes. I did actually walk almost 2 miles yesterday, but I didn't film it because I was with my sister. We walked over to visit with Mom and then walked back, and it's just a hair shy of 1 mile over there, so it's about a 2 mile round trip. I was going to try and put something together for you yesterday, but I was so tired. I got a late start on Thursday. I didn't get in till about 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning. And then it was really cold, and I had a really bad sleep because, well, if you could call an hour and a half nap in freezing conditions a sleep, because, well, I didn't want to wake my sister or her husband up to get the garage door open so I could run my power cord in and plug it in. So I ended up sleeping without my heaters when I got in. So that was a little cold. So I ended up being really tired yesterday. I mean, like I said, I walked over, visited with Mom for a couple hours, and then walked back. But my sister was with me, so I did not actually film any of that. And then I ate dinner and went to bed. At least while she doesn't completely understand how or why carnivore works, she sees the results. So she made like a 3-pound roast yesterday and cut enough off for herself. It was really good roast. She did it in the crock pot pretty much all day, so it was really good and tender. And her husband ate, she cut off what he normally eats and saved a little extra so he could have a little extra if he wanted it. And then she put the rest on my plate. So I had about 2 pounds of roast. And it was really good, and I ate it all because I was hungry, because I had just a couple of small New York strip steaks Thursday before I left for lunch. I finally got a good night's sleep last night. Having heat in the trailer makes all the difference when it's really cold out. As you can see, I've got an even heavier jacket on today than I normally wear, because it's significantly colder here, and I think I'm going to try and get out of here tomorrow and head south, because I can feel this colder weather working on my joints a little bit, and I don't like it. But the drive in all went really well. Oh, gosh, I started rambling on there and forgot to say hello to everybody. I hope you're having a good day. If this is your first time here at the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If you survived that opening ramble and you're still here, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? It doesn't cost anything, and it really does help get the message out. But, yeah, back to the drive-in. It was all fairly good, except Indiana. I don't know if it's the entire government or just the engineers and road planners, but that's some messed up stuff, people. If you drive even a little bit around the country, you know that the intersection of Interstate 70 and the Interstate 65 meet in what's basically downtown Indianapolis. And they've had that closed for quite some time because they're rebuilding that intersection. And they're routing all the traffic that would normally go right through town out onto their outer belt. Now you would think that if they're already taking two of the busiest highways in this section of the country and routing them all onto one road that goes around the city, that they would leave that one alone. But no, when I came through, there was a big chunk of that outer belt that was down one lane in some spots, down 2 lanes in others. And if it hadn't been 2 o'clock in the morning when I came through Indianapolis, I might still be stuck in the traffic jam. I can't imagine having to work in Indianapolis right now, because with the main thoroughfare shut down and then the outer belt also under construction, and then once I got around the city and started heading east out of Indianapolis towards the Ohio border, they had that all chewed up and under construction. What a miserable idea, putting all that stuff under construction at once like that. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Once upon a time, I did that kind of work when I was driving for a construction company. And I can tell you, out of all the years I've driven and all the places I've been, that's probably the worst I've ever seen a city chewed up with construction. But anyway, I hope everybody has had a good couple of days. I don't really have a topic today. I may think of one as we go on here. But I mostly just wanted to check in, let everybody know how the first part of the drive went. Like I said, I'm going to probably try and hook back up and drive on down to North Carolina tomorrow, because moving in Sunday night, it's supposed to drop down into the freezing temperatures, and it's supposed to get a lot of wind with that. And super cold and wind is not a combination I'm a big fan of. But I did have a thought. I don't even remember who all I was watching, but somebody said, pose the question, what if? Because we don't ever know what's going to happen, if today ends up being your last day, have you done everything you can to make today your best day? Now, I'm taking it a little bit differently than what he was talking about, because I'm thinking, we still don't want to so push ourselves that we hurt ourselves. I must be walking pretty fast, because or maybe I'm just still really tired, I don't know. But we don't want to push so hard that we hurt ourselves but we still do want to try and get 1% better every day at something. It may not be physical activity every day. You know, maybe it's mental exercise some days where you do whatever it is you like to do, whether it be crossword puzzles or scrambles or whatever else there are. I'm an old dumb truck driver, so I don't do a lot of those brain game things because they make my head hurt. So I choose to walk. But, well, that's one lap around. I'm turning the camera sideways here. You can see my trailer over there behind me, sitting in my sister's driveway. I have no idea how far it is around the block, but I don't think I'm actually going to go all the way around twice. I think I'm going to go all the way up to the end of the street and then turn around and come back just to see how far that is. Because I'm still a little draggy. Although I have to say, the unexpected side effect of the carnivore diet used to be when I made a drive like that, where I was in my car or my pickup or even in my big truck for 13, 14, 15 hours straight. And I drove through fast. I only got out of the truck 4 times. Twice to get gas and 2 other times to use the restroom. Normally when I get done with that before carnivore, my knees and back and shoulders were so sore that I couldn't really do anything for a couple of days. I just had to get to where I was going and then do nothing for a couple of days while my body recovered from the drive. Well, they said I got in Friday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and at about 10:30 in the morning, I walked a mile over to visit Mom. And then I think it was about 2:30 or 3 when we came back. I walked another mile back. There's no way I could have done that beforehand. So we've got to always keep our eye not just on our why, although the why, I stand behind what I've always said, that the why is the most important part of it. Let's not get so focused on our why that we miss all the little successes, or as they're called in some parts of this community, the non-scale victories. Let's not miss that. You know, realizing that I got up and walked 2 miles on very little sleep after 14 and a half hours behind the wheel. That's a pretty big non-scale victory. But just like last week when I was moving my left shoulder for you, that's another non-scale victory. So, you know, don't forget to keep your eyes on those. And speaking of non-scale victories, I think it was Sean Baker, but I could be completely wrong. I was watching a video a couple, 3 days ago about a guy whose diabetes had given him problems with his eyes. And his eye doctor said he was in, full-blown macular degeneration, which, as we know, as macular degeneration progresses, you eventually lose your sight. Now, what macular degeneration is, I know it has something to do with the narrowing. You know, it's like all diabetic problems. You get some narrowing of the blood vessels. But I'm not going to try and go into great detail on that. I've known about it for a long time because a roommate of mine back in college had it at college age. So I've known vaguely what it was. But anyway, this guy's eye doctor was astounded because he had just started carnivore when he was diagnosed with macular degeneration. And when we went back for a 6-month checkup, the guy had no signs of macular degeneration at all. His eyes had healed themselves. So, bravo. I'm not saying that that's going to happen for everybody. That may not even happen for a majority of the people. But it does happen. So, if you've got one of those oddball diseases, don't just discount because nobody has ever made a video about it or talked about it. All I can do is suggest that you try it for 30, 60, 90 days and see how you feel. Because that's really the bottom line of stuff here. Going back to my point about making sure today is your best day yet. Because we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I could turn the corner up here and get hit by a city bus. But I must be tired. I kind of completely lost my train of thought there. But be the best you can be every day. And don't let people tell you you can't. Don't let people talk you out of this diet. Don't let people confuse you with their version. Because a relatively young, healthy guy that surfs 3 or 4 hours a day can handle a lot different nutrition than somebody my age or somebody your age. So just don't listen to all the noise. Eat your meat. Add some salt. And drink your water. This is day 15 with no coffee. I'm still doing pretty good. There should be a video pop up over here to tell you, to give you the entire October challenge so far. Another video over here that you've never seen before. Get out there and have a great day, everybody. I hope to see you tomorrow, but I may be driving again, so we'll see what happens. Have a great day.